the touchdown. Oh my, Stevens. With
A little bit more room. Hey, thumb on the football. And a big man scramble.
Action pass to him. He fires to the top. One-handed catch.
Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons.
Over the top, and that might be the most impressive interception all day.
What a shoot.
Breaking through a tackle.
Oh, no.
What a ridiculous sequence of events.
He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
The kick is blocked from Zuderveld. It's loose.
How? What?
And welcome to SFL pregame on For the Fans, along with Mike St. Green. I am Cameron Irvine. Good morning, Mike. We are ready to go.
Hey, good morning, Cam. It feels like I just saw you a few hours ago, and I did. I just saw you a few hours ago, man. Good, good to see you up and well this morning.
Yes, and eventually everyone will be able to see me, but until then, Mike St. Green, this is a day we've all been waiting for in some respects because it's Baltimore hosting Queen City, two of the top four teams trying to settle the North today.
Yeah, Cam, two of the better teams in the SFL, and oddly enough, they're two of the teams that have not clinched the division, and because they're vying for that same division here today, the North Division. Baltimore coming in winners of 10 in a row this season and 11 in a row overall in regular season games. Queen City has made a resurgence this season. The former four-time SFL champs are 8-2 this season coming into this game and still have a shot at winning the North Division. I'm expecting a great matchup today, Cam. MVP candidates all over the field, Defensive Player of the Year candidates all over the field. We have Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates in this game. I mean, it's going to be no less than a great shootout today, and I can't wait to see it get going.
It's going to be a great one. Before we go, we've also got the updated standings for everyone. It was released very late last night, Mike, but we've got, well, I think we've got them. We'll get them here eventually, but yeah, Mike, it's heating up. We've got three teams at 5 and 6 down at the bottom, and unfortunately for Lone Star, they have a head-to-head sweep loss, and that has them on the outside looking in after their loss to Vegas last night.
Yeah, that was a very disappointing game last night. Lone Star performed against Vegas, 7 interceptions from Ace Finnick last night, and was probably one of the uglier games that we've seen all season long played between both teams. But, hey, Vegas came out on top, and right now they find themselves in that coveted 12th playoff spot. And also, Cam, last night we saw three teams officially punch their ticket into the playoff in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Vancouver. So congrats to those teams. And we have two teams today looking to punch a ticket for a North Division championship in that automatic berth, even though they have clinched the playoff spot.
And Portland plays Atlanta today, the 9-5 right now. But Portland's only one game back of Atlanta. And if they win today, it would be a three-way tie for the lead in the Pacific heading into the final week of the season, which would be absolutely crazy. Charleston plays next here in bonus coverage against Carolina. They're 5-5. Carolina right on the outside at 4-6, as is London. London plays later today against the DC Dragons. You'll see some of that here on For the Fans. So we are just all kinds of excited and ready for football this morning. Baltimore and Queen City, the highly anticipated matchup here in Sim Football Nation, comes your way next. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on For the Fans, and we will be right back with kickoff from Baltimore.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
We're all set to go for a massive SFL Sunday showdown. An undefeated season, a division title, a first-round bye, home field in the playoffs. It's all on the line today as the Queen City Corsairs take on the Baltimore Vultures. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Vulture Stadium in Baltimore. Alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statistician Shane Kaufman and Justin Reside, and my partner Aaron Alexander, I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by 8 p.m. Music on For the Fans. Happy to have you with us. And with so much at stake in a long-awaited powerhouse matchup, Aaron, every set of league eyes will be locked in on this game today.
Yeah, absolutely. You have the current number 1 and number 4 seeds looking forward into playoffs in this game. Baltimore looking to complete the first undefeated season since season 11, which was accomplished by, at the time, the Alaska Storm. Queen City looking to play spoiler to that, potentially have a division title in their grasp moving into next week.
You're right, the last undefeated season in the SFL, season 11, the Alaska Storm, they were perfect 12-0 in the regular season, and of course they won every playoff game as well, ended up being league champions 3 times. The Storm have been league champions. This franchise, the Queen City Corsairs, the only team to best that, 4-time SFL champions, including twice as Queen City, but not since season 8. Baltimore has owned this head-to-head matchup all time, 6-2 all time, and they are 10-0 this season. Can the Corsairs at 8-2 this season be the team to upset Baltimore's undefeated season? Today's aerial coverage provided by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services in New York State. Find them on Instagram at Dags Droneworks or visit their website, dagsdroneworks.com. Queen City with the white tops, black bottoms. Baltimore, black tops, white bottoms. The Vultures will get the ball first. We are underway from Vulture Stadium. 10-0 Baltimore, 8-2 Queen City. Aaron, this game, we've been looking forward to it for weeks. I feel like since about the middle of the season, once the other 2 teams in this division kind of started to taper off, there was a time when Queen City was 6-0 and Baltimore was 6-0. Then the Corsairs lost 2 in a row. They have rebounded to win their last 2. Baltimore obviously has yet to lose, and fans of the Simulation Football League have been looking forward to this potential matchup for a long time, and it finally comes here in week 11 with the North Division, these two teams play in, still firmly up for grabs. Jack Wigmore will throw to start off the game. The pass is caught by the veteran wide receiver Daley Holder, and a pickup of 8 through the air for the Vultures to start things off.
Yeah, a good start for Baltimore. Daley Holder, who actually didn't have any catches last week against Carolina, picks up his first catch here today for the Vultures.
That is crazy. Jack Wigmore threw for 444 yards last week, but none of them went to Daley Holder or Lloyd Graham Jr. Up the middle they go, and an early first down for the Vultures. T-Roy Gaines, who also did not have any catches last year, former standout running back, now fullback, and an early first down.
Yeah, that's one of the keys to this Baltimore Vulture offense, despite T-Roy Gaines moving in the offseason from halfback to fullback to make room for the rookie Jimmy Hazard. T-Roy has been a key producer for this offense.
Hazard has yet to really take off, but we've seen what he can do. First down for Baltimore, and again they go to Daley Holder. 2 catches for the veteran on the first 3 plays from scrimmage. Let's introduce you to the Baltimore offense, which is quite possibly the best in the SFL. Quarterback Jack Wigmore, rookie tailback, we just talked about him, Jimmy Hazard. T-Roy Gaines is the fullback. 3 wide receivers, Ivory Irvin, Mac Chima, and Daley Holder. The tight end, veteran Lloyd Graham Jr., Shark Tarkington, will do the place kicking for offensive coordinator Dr. Thomas Paterniti. Here's the first carry of the game for Jimmy Hazard. Sidesteps and picks up 3. Andre Krim brings him down.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Jimmy Hazard hasn't really been able to get anything going this season. And in some ways, you're definitely right about that. One of the lowest as far as total carries and yardage this season. But he does currently hold a leading yards per carry average of 5.9.
We'll throw here, though, on 3rd and 2, up to the top of the field, looking for Irvin, and swatted away. One-on-one coverage with Ted Haynes. The Queen City defense makes a stand. 4th down now for Baltimore.
Yeah, and this is one of the things Queen City is arguably best at here is their defense. They rank 6th in both yards and in both passing and rushing yards allowed per game. And it shows there as they force this high-powered Baltimore defense to punt the ball away.
Well, they'll come out. They'll bring the offense back onto the field, Aaron. An early 4th down situation from midfield. What do you expect here?
Probably a bait-and-switch attempt, and if they don't get the jump, a timeout.
There you go. 2 minutes into the game, you're right on. An early timeout taken by Baltimore. What do you feel about that decision?
With how I think this game's going to go, I don't think that's wise. I think they should have saved those timeouts for the second quarter if they needed them.
Well, Thomas Paterniti, who has been a part of this team for a long time, he and Tim Johnston, Tim and Tom, TJ and T-Pat, that's what they're called across this league, and have been at the helm here for Baltimore for a long time, and they have authored one of the greatest franchises in recent SFL history. In fact, these are 2 of the most successful franchises in league history as it begins to wrap up its 17th season. Punt away from Pablo Gates, nearly blocked. The rookie Doug Spelling waits for and makes the fair catch. Queen City is fantastic on defense, Aaron, like you said. It's kind of a strength-on-strength matchup with this Baltimore offense and the Queen City defense. But the one area they have struggled this season, 3rd down conversions. Queen City has allowed their opponents to convert at 56% on 3rd downs. That's the 4th highest rate in the league. They pick up 1 3rd down stop on that possession and get the ball into the hands of their offense. The 10th-year veteran quarterback, A.J. Caswell, trying to spring an upset. On the ground, they'll go to Jet Zero, one of the best tailbacks in the league. He picks up 2.
Yeah, Jet Zero has definitely been one of the biggest reasons this Queen City team is 8-2 right now. This season, he's been nigh unstoppable on the ground.
Absolutely fantastic season, really out of nowhere for Jet Zero, a former league fullback, and then scuffled for a couple of seasons as a tailback with Queen City as a team not performing well. And it's no secret their success has coincided with a monster year for him, but he gets absolutely plowed after a gain of 1 there by Sir Ron Yates IV. Mike St. Green mentioned in the pregame, Aaron, Defensive Player of the Year candidates across both of these rosters. You're looking at the front runner, Sir Ron Yates IV.
Yeah, currently leads the league in both sacks and tackles for loss as a defensive tackle. A very, very clear front runner for that Defensive Player of the Year award.
17.5 sacks on the season. On 3rd down, Caswell links up with Deezer Powell, the veteran wideout, in an early 3rd down conversion for the Corsairs.
Yeah, Deezer Powell, the leader of this receiving core, alongside the tight end James Matthew Jr., another understated but also really key piece of this Queen City offense.
2 great tight ends on display for sure. Both of them have juniors in their last name, and they are both very dynamic. James Matthew Jr. and Lloyd Graham Jr. Fresh set for the Corsairs. Caswell floats it into traffic, and it's caught somehow by Doug Spelling, the rookie wideout, with 2 vultures on top of him.
Man, the rookie Doug Spelling just puts on an absolute clinic there. The 2nd round pick 3 in this past draft, using his 6'6" height to his advantage on that grab.
Spelling came in this season as the number 3 wideout, but he's probably number 2 status here as Caswell gets taken down by Sir Ron Yates IV. It won't be a sack for him there, Aaron, but case in point, just how disruptive this guy is.
Yeah, and it's not just him. The rest of this Baltimore Vulture front 4 has just been absolutely electric as far as getting through the offensive lines of the opposing teams and getting through to the quarterback. A total of 41 sacks between this entire Baltimore defense.
Through 10 games, that is insane. Queen City on the other side has picked up just 10 all season. 2nd down for Queen City, and there's a gain of 7 through the air for Doug Spelling. Here is the Queen City offense for rookie head coach Chris Komisak. Spent 2 years as the fullback with Fort Worth, came over here to Queen City in the offseason to become their team's new head coach. So he's the fullback, Jet Zero is the tailback, A.J. Caswell the quarterback, 4-star wide receivers, Deezer Powell, Doug Spelling, Christopher Ochoa, and Jay Hayden, the former Baltimore Vulture, and 2-star tight ends, James Matthew Jr. and Hubba Kimbrell. Another third down. They'll go to zero. Daylight up the middle for Jet Zero, and he delivers once again all the way across midfield. Baltimore moves the sticks.
Yeah, just a great run there by Jet Zero. This offensive line managing to make a hole there for Jet Zero to run through. A great block onto Saran Yates, as we saw in the replay. And Queen City starting to drive down the field, much to the dismay of the Vultures.
Gain of 10 on the ground that time for Zero. Second third down conversion of this first drive for Queen City. Split backs. Caswell to give to Zero. Lowers the shoulder and breaks through. Giovanni Bolt. That's hard to do. Gain of 7.
Yeah, Giovanni Bolt, one of the premier free safeties in this league. Unfortunately, is no match for the shoulder of Jet Zero, who picks up 7 on that run there.
Mentioned Zero, one of the best runners in the league, second in the league in carries, third in yards, first in touchdowns with 16. They'll go now to Chris Komisak, the former Fort Worth Toro, in his first year with Queen City. Not a lot doing for him there. One-on-one stop by the safety, Troy Loshaw.
Yeah, Loshaw just in the right place at the right time. I can speak from experience against the tough defense like the Vultures. It's hard for any fullback to really get anything going on the ground.
And succeeding Chris Komisak as the fullback for Fort Worth in this offseason, as Chris coming over here for his rookie head coaching debut. Zero looking for running room, can't find anything. Blown up in the backfield by middle linebacker Frank Smith. That brings up fourth down.
Yeah, very, very strong showing there by the Baltimore Vultures defense. I'll admit I'm a bit surprised that Queen City didn't try to go through the air a bit more with AJ Caswell.
Had to once on third down, and then we're not able to again. Once coming from Greg Morrison, and it dies at the 2-yard line. How about that special teams play from Queen City? Defense and special teams, Aaron, you hear that all the time. That wins championships, whatever. It's helped get Queen City to an 8-2 record. Special teams has been up and down this season with a new kicker that joined the team halfway through the year, but fantastic punt there from Morrison.
Yeah, what an absolutely beautiful punt by Morrison. Sets up Baltimore in a very, very dangerous position. This front three definitely hungry to try and put some points on the board for Queen City here.
Bigmore will have to start from his own 2 into traffic, and it's caught somehow. What a catch. Queen City made a play like that, and now Baltimore responds with one of its own. Lloyd Graham Jr., gain of 10.
Yeah, Lloyd Graham Jr. also didn't really get anything done last game against Carolina, though they didn't really need him to. But this time he comes up with a big first down grab within the shadow of their own end zone.
That helps Baltimore tremendously. From the 12 now. Daylight for Wigmore. That's caught. First down and a whole lot more. A gain of 14 through the air from Wigmore to Mac Chima, one of the best wide receivers in the SFL.
Yeah, Mac Chima currently the league leader as far as total yardage goes, followed closely behind by his teammate Ivory Irvin, who we haven't heard from yet this game. But just a great missed tackle there. The rookie Cody Griffin not able to get his hands on him. And Baltimore now, after starting on their own 2, picks up their second straight first down.
You mentioned it, Aaron. Ivory Irvin second in the SFL in receiving yards with 1,307, right behind Mac Chima, who before that catch had 1,310, just 3 more. Queen City jumps off sides. Wigmore gets plowed. That play won't count. It'll be our first penalty of the game as Andre Krim runs into the third-year signal caller. Offside against Queen City. Our first look at everybody's favorite member of the SFL, Rep 62.
Yeah, and that flag, unfortunately, is going to be on the Crim Reaper himself there. Just a little too antsy to try to get his hands on Jack Wigmore. It's going to result in a probably a replay of the down. It's going to be 1st and 5 here for Baltimore.
Here is the Queen City defense for Chris Komisak and BJ Lovelace, the general manager who reworked this team in the offseason. David Tilley, Andre Krim, and DJ Majesty on the line. BJ Lovelace and Jared Crow are the linebackers. Tell you about the secondary in a second. First down and 5 after the penalty. Jimmy Hazard with running room. Breaks through the first wave. That's Preby, another linebacker, and gets out to the midfield, or check that, to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 10 for Jimmy Hazard.
Yeah, and that was just a really, really strong off-tackle run there. The defense not really having anybody on that side of the ball. A great block there by 72 we saw. probably contributed to that. And Jimmy Hazard, with just all the room in the world to run, makes those legs work for him and picks up another Baltimore first.
King Jamal helps bring him down. He's one of the safeties, along with Kappa Jones and Maurice Lloyd, the newcomer to this defense. The pair of corners, third-year veteran Ted Haynes and rookie Cody Griffin, who's had a sensational year with 8 interceptions. First down for the guy they call the Duke. Back to him they go. Another off-tackle run, another first down. Breaks through Jamal and gets out across midfield. Gain of 26 on the ground for Jimmy Hazard.
Second verse, same as the first for that off-tackle run, but Jimmy Hazard, the Duke himself, just makes even more of it this time, making King Jamal himself, miss the first tackle. And what a run there from Jimmy Hazard, the rookie.
You mentioned it, Aaron. It's not been a bombastic rookie season for Hazard, but when they go to him, he is very successful. They will go to him again, third straight run. That works very nicely. Gain of 5. Jared Crow on the stop. And like you said earlier, Aaron, just a tick under 6 yards per carry, the average for Jimmy Hazard. He's 24th in carries, had exactly 100 before today. 21st in yards, south of 600, but first in average, 6 yards per carry. That's pretty impressive for a rookie in this league.
Yeah, he's definitely not south of 600 anymore after those 3 runs.
Very true. 43 yards unofficially on 4 carries. Wigmore to the air. That's caught by Ivory Irvin, another one of the best wide receivers in the league. It's great that Baltimore has 2 of those, a great tight end, a rookie tailback that they're high on, a veteran fullback. This offense is absolutely loaded. And lest we forget, Jack Wigmore, the guy who makes it all happen, a possible MVP candidate here in season 17.
Yeah, absolutely have to agree with you there. 5th in completions, 4th in attempts, 1st in yards, 1st in touchdowns, and 1st in QBR coming into this game, and has thrown only 18 TDs.
Absolutely.
INTs, excuse me.
Yeah, twice as many touchdowns as picks, which is crazy. Wigmore throwing it this way. That is caught but out of bounds by Mac Chima. Interesting.
I'm going to be honest with you, it was kind of hard to tell. A part of me wouldn't be surprised to see the challenge flag, which we do see. A part of me disagrees with that, though, considering they're already down 1 timeout. But we'll see if this call goes their way on that pass to Chima.
Well, first of all, I agree. I thought it was difficult to see in real time. But second of all, you're dead on as usual, Aaron. This is a risky challenge for TJ on the Baltimore sideline, already down a timeout. And looking at that replay,
he's clearly in on that one.
Rare to see Mac Chima miss a catch. He and Ivory Irvin live on the sidelines. They're very good there. And Baltimore's going to win the challenge. It'll be a catch for the guy they call Mac and Cheese. Very tasty option for Baltimore, no question about it. Chima, it's insane. We mentioned he leads the league in receiving yards entering action this week with over 1,300 through 10 games, despite being 21st in catches with 65. So he averages better than 20 yards per catch. That's 3rd best in the league. An insane season for the 4th-year man from Washington, D.C. 2nd and 1. Here's Hazard. Up the middle he goes. Lowers the shoulder, and he's stopped at the goal line. A touchdown-saving tackle at the end of the run by Kappa Jones and Cody Griffin. Hazard nearly picks up the first score.
Yeah, the Duke almost hit the ramp to avoid the cops. Unfortunately, Kappa Jones says, no, sir.
Griffin, the rookie corner, helps out to make the stop. 6 rushing touchdowns as well for Hazard, not a ton, but this is T-Roy Gaines territory, who's got 3 on the ground, but they will bring him off the field. Shows what I know. Grips to the top, Hazard in the backfield, Wigmore to throw. All day, back of the end zone, it's caught! Touchdown, Baltimore, Ivory Irvin with the flag flying.
That could be a holding call that we see here with that flag.
Or late hits.
Oh.
Wow. It will get Maurice Lloyd with the late hits. Right after Ivory Irvin caught the ball, had his toes down. Remember, only 1 foot inbounds needed in the SFL. Lloyd hit him immediately after that. It's going to rob us of a replay as well, Aaron. And, well, at the end of the day, it is a touchdown for Ivory Irvin, his 12th of the season.
Yeah, luckily for Baltimore, being it was on the touchdown, it's only going to bring the extra point attempt here just a yard closer. Of course, Shark Tarkington still just a chip shot for him.
Just about as automatic as it gets. Shark Tarkington, one of the best kickers in SFL history, only missed 1 field goal this year. and knocks that extra point down, no problem. If you're new to the SFL, it's the Simulation Football League. It combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. More information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And for Baltimore, they put the fan in fantastic. A tremendous drive. Once again, Wigmore to Ivory Irvin. 37 touchdown passes for Wigmore. Best in the league. 12 touchdown catches for Ivory Irvin. And now Queen City's going to have to respond, Aaron. Only down by 7. Not time to throw the game plan out of the, completely out the window yet. But you might need to start seeing some more passes, as you hinted at.
Yeah, granted, this is only going to be Queen City's second drive of the game. Both Queen City's previous and that one from Baltimore taking an incredibly long time. If you'd told me that at the end of the first quarter it'd be 7-0, I would have laughed in your face.
You see that over-under at the top of your screen set at 64.5, exactly what Aaron's talking about. Here's Komisak on the give. Chris Komisak breaks out of a hit. He's going across midfield inside the 40-yard line and stopped at the 32-yard line. Longest run of the season for the fullback, Chris Komisak.
I'm trying to be unbiased, but I can't help but be happy when I see a run by a fullback like that. Chris Komisak, unofficially 52 yards on the carry there.
Can you say game-breaking? He had 46 yards on the ground all season, Aaron. 52 yards on that one.
Yeah, more than doubles that here with that run.
Well, that's a nice way to get your offense in gear. From the 32, Caswell will throw, looking for Powell, and it's knocked away from behind. Alvin Mack on the coverage, second down.
Yeah, that one a bit dangerous. Almost picked off by Alvin Mack there. Very lucky for Queen City that one drops. But still only second down here. Queen City does have a chance here to try and make something happen before the end of the first quarter.
The joke is that linebackers in this league can't pick off passes, but Alvin Mack has not heard that joke. Second and 10 over the middle. That's caught. Right on cue, there's James Matthew Jr. We talked about him earlier. Gain of 11, another first down for Queen City.
Yeah, Queen City now just outside of the Baltimore red zone. For the first time this game, their last drive stuttered just inside of midfield. We'll see if Queen City can make something happen here and get some points on the board.
Time running out in the first quarter. Queen City trailing 7-0. Go back to Komisak, and a bit of a shorter run for him that time. Just 2. Frank Smith on the tackle. By the way, the punchline to that joke, linebackers can't catch passes in this league. Alvin Mack has 4 picks this year, which is a ton for a linebacker.
Yeah, currently tied for 4th on the team with Marvin Himes, the corner.
This team picks off a lot of passes. Queen City doesn't have to snap it, but they will. Caswell over the middle. That's caught. First down by Jay Hayden, the former Baltimore Vulture, strikes against his old team. Another move of the sticks for Queen City, done with 1 in Baltimore. Bigmore to Irvin. That's the difference. Baltimore up 7-0. This is the SFL presented by 8 PM Music on For the Fans. Queen City Corsairs moving down the field on just their second possession of the game with 1 quarter already in the books. The home team on top 7-0. The 10-yard line. 4 wides and a tailback for Caswell. Fires towards the end zone. That's knocked away. Incomplete. A risky pass from the veteran going for Christopher Ochoa. Third-year wideout, 2nd down.
Yeah, unfortunate that Ochoa not able to get his hands on it. Ben Stacking Paper credited with the pass deflection there. Looked to try and pick that ball off. Unfortunately, not really able to get his hands around it. Just it was a well-thrown ball by AJ Caswell. Unfortunately, maybe a bit too well for Stacking Paper there.
Strength against strength. Remember, Queen City never turns the ball over. Only 8 interceptions all season for AJ Caswell, fewest in the league. But Baltimore as a team has 40 takeaways. That's also best in the league. 2nd down from the 10. Caswell to the end zone again. That's caught. Touchdown, Queen City. They answer right back. Deezer Powell has his 9th.
Yeah, just a great ball on the 2nd attempt by AJ Caswell, staring down the Baltimore goalpost, and finally gets a man open in Deezer Powell, and Queen City almost immediately after the touchdown grab by Ivory Irvin answers back to tie this game up.
Yeah, close to a late hit on the other side, but what do I know after that penalty against Queen City on the Baltimore touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. Immediate response from Queen City, but 2 totally different looking drives, Aaron, as Judah Dorgan awaits the PAT. Hold down from Booker Repka, and he knocks it through. We're all tied up at Baltimore drive. Remember, we talked about how great that punt from Queen City's Greg Morrison was, stopping Baltimore at the 2. They pick up 10 yards to Ivory Irvin on their first play. Then they go 10 plays, 98 yards. Passing touchdown from Wigmore to Irvin. So Wigmore to Irvin starts and ends that drive. And then on the next possession, Queen City 7 plays, 82 yards, ending up in an 8-yard passing touchdown from Caswell to Deezer Powell. But that drive was made by that 50-plus yard carry from Chris Komisak.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as a fullback, there's a fumble though.
Loses the ball on the kickoff, and Queen City's got it. One of the best kick returners in SFL history drops the ball, and Queen City's got it. It's Blake Radke, the backup tailback.
A very, very rare mistake from the veteran Giovanni Bolt on the return. And who was it that caused that fumble there? That was number 77, it looked like.
That's what I thought, too. I guess it's 71 maybe. Nathaniel Campagna, the backup defensive tackle.
Yeah, and Queen City finds itself back in Baltimore's red zone immediately after kickoff.
Well, a gift from one of the best kick returners, one of the best defensive players in league history. Queen City from the 20, swatted away. Great one-on-one coverage out there by number 42, Frank Smith, the middle linebacker, who has stepped up in a big way for Baltimore since he joined the team mid-season in season 15.
Yeah, absolutely. And a great opening stop on a very surprising third Queen City drive.
Baltimore calls its defense the Wake, and they're going to need this defense to wake its team up after a special teams gaffe, a surprising one from Giovanni Bolt. Caswell to throw again. It's caught this time out of the flats. That's James Matthew Jr. The tight end has his 2nd catch. Gain of 6. Let's tell you about the Baltimore defense really quick. Defensive line, Tucker Lewis, Nate Brown, Saran Yates IV, and Al Walker. It's a stacked defense. Alvin Mack, Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, the linebackers. Marvin Himes, Ben Stacking Paper, Austin Brigham, the corners. Safeties, 2 of the best, Giovanni Bolt and Troy Loshaw. 4th in points allowed per game at only 21. Here goes Zero, breaking through a tackle and stopped short of the goal line by Alvin Mack. 2 yards away from pay dirt. What a run from Jet Zero.
Yeah, very eerily similar run to one we saw earlier by Jimmy Hazard. Jet Zero being stopped just short of the goal line. But being 2 yards out, we're very much in Zero and Komisak territory.
Pulls through Troy Loshaw, who's Baltimore's leader in tackles with better than 80 this season. Split backs, both Zero and Komisak are available. Here is Zero, and he's snowed under by the Wake. Another TFL for Saran Yates IV, the league's leader.
Yeah, that puts him at 23 TFLs now on the season. Good for first in the league.
Everyone on this Baltimore defensive front has at least 9. Everybody's got at least 3.5 sacks, 40 sacks as a team. Like we said, 41 in fact. Here goes 0, stopped again. Frank Smith is there to help make the play, as well as the aforementioned Tucker Lewis, who's actually last on this team in TFL somehow, and he makes the play there.
Yeah, Tucker Lewis picks up TFL number 10 to tie him with his fellow lineman Nate Brown.
Frank Smith's now got double digits tackles for loss as well from the middle linebacker spot. Don't see that often. 3rd and goal. Aswell will throw to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Queen City. Christopher Ochoa finally has number 2. The Corsairs take the lead.
Yeah, and Queen City, after a bit of a struggle to find the end zone, manages to stick another 6 on the board thanks to Christopher Ochoa, and the gift brought forth by a great special teams play by Nathaniel Campagna. Oh God,
Good enough for me. Somebody we don't know very much about here in the SFL. Oh, somebody that does not make a ton of plays for the Queen City defense. Gifts to them the ball at the 20-yard line. And a couple of plays later, Christopher Ochoa finally has his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season. Point after good from Judah Dorgan. This is another strength-on-strength matchup, weakness-on-weakness matchup, if you want to look at it like that. And because this Queen City rushing offense is so good, like we've said, they're 3rd in the league in rushing yards, but Baltimore's 5th against the run on defense. But their pass defense, despite all of those takeaways that we talked about, leaves a lot to be desired. They're 21st against the pass. So on 3rd down and goal, Queen City goes to the air after 2 failed runs, and on a pass attempt, they finally pull it off. Bolts holds on to the ball that time and gets out to the 27.
yeah, you absolutely have the right of it. I'm surprised that Chris Komisek and this Queen City offense aren't taking advantage of the apparent weakness in the Baltimore Vultures passing defense. But we'll see if Baltimore is able to answer back.
Vultures now trailing for the first time, and they will put this electric offense back out onto the field, chasing 7. Hazard running right tackle, blown up in the backfield by Kappa Jones, stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the off tackle run not working there as it had the past 2 times they tried it. Is going to bring up a key 2nd down situation here for the Vultures.
Jones now in his 7th season in the SFL, 4th with Queen City. Dallas native playing against the team from Baltimore. Offset eye with Gaines and Hazard. Wigmore hit as he throws and flutters it up, looking for Gaines. That had no chance to get to him. This defensive front for Queen City looks rejuvenated. Speaking of which, it's the Crim Reaper who's trying to bring some new life into this defense.
Yeah, Andre Krim able to get enough penetration to get to Jack Wigmore. Unfortunately, a bit too little too late, as Wigmore is able to get the ball out of his hand.
Queen City has only totaled 10 sacks by their starting defense all season. Baltimore totaled 8 last week alone. 3rd and 10. Wigmore zips it wide open. First down across midfield, Ivory Irvin.
Yeah, that's more what we expect to see out of this Baltimore Vultures offense. The way that they've been playing so far, a bit uncharacteristic, but that pass there shows they're still more than capable of slinging the rock deep downfield.
Look at that rating already for Wigmore. 80 yards. That puts him over 4,000 in the SFL this season in this game number 11. Best in the league. He increases his lead on the touchdown leaderboards with this 37th. Ivory Irvin's 12th. Take the handoff. Wigmore under pressure. Down he goes. Queen City finally gets to him. A loss of 7 from DJ Majesty. The offseason acquisition comes through.
Yeah, DJ Majesty, the lowest as far as sack total goes on this Queen City defensive line, finally gets his 2nd full sack here for the Corsairs in a very key situation. It's going to force Baltimore back behind midfield.
Was a standout at linebacker for the Tulsa Desperados, playing defensive end this year. Has had a slow start, to say the least. 2nd and 17. Wigmore bombs it. It's caught. Irvin comes through once again. Baltimore inside the 30, right just like that.
Yeah, just another great ball from Jack Wigmore over the head of the cornerback Ted Haynes in one-on-one coverage, and Ivory Irvin just with the speed to make him pay. And that's just a great route as well from Ivory Irvin, who currently has over 50 yards for this Baltimore Vulture offense.
An all-star last year, on pace to do it again this year. 5th in catches, 2nd in yards, tied for 2nd in touchdowns coming into action today, and the league leader in targets with 121. They go to him a lot. Wigmore looking that way again, ducks and can't avoid him. David Tilley, the best member of this Queen City defensive line, one of the best in the league for all 4 seasons that he's been here. Another sack for Queen City.
Yeah, and Queen City's now starting to get through this offensive line of the Vultures on a much more consistent basis. Jack Wigmore coming into this game, one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the upper half of the league, in fact. Unfortunately, this offensive line kind of letting him down here late in the second quarter.
I was about to say the same thing. Sacks have not been a problem for this team this year. 2nd and 14. That has another interception thrown by Jack Wigmore. King Jamal skies up and picks it off, his 5th of the season.
Yeah, that's just a great read by King Jamal there in order to pick that ball off. Just, as they say, playing center field, just gets a great read on the route by Mac Chimaw and just has the jumping power to get in the air to get that into his hands.
It's crazy to me.
No, go ahead.
I'm
Tim.
sorry, Aaron. Excuse me. Please go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tim.
I did not mean to cut you off. My apologies. What I was going to say is it's impressive. The touchdown to interception ratio for both of these quarterbacks. Here goes Jet Zero. They give him about 1.5. It's crazy, Aaron. Both of these quarterbacks have thrown exactly twice as many touchdowns as interceptions entering action today, but the numbers are totally different, obviously. Wigmore 36-18, Caswell 16-8. So 2 times as many touchdowns as picks, but 20 more touchdowns for Wigmore than Caswell. On the ground, here goes Zero again. Blows through the first man and then gets plastered at the end by Bolts, gain of 4.
Yeah, Troy Losha on the receiving end of that Jet Zero's shoulder that time. And you absolutely have the right of it. The reason, though, of course, is that AJ Caswell has attempted just under 100 less passes than Jack Wigmore has coming into this game.
Do not throw the ball very much because Jet Zero is 2nd in the league in carries. They will throw here into traffic, swatted by Stacking Paper, and nearly picked by Frank Smith. Stacking Paper somehow swatted his arm out there. I don't know how he got the extend arm to work 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is he got it to work, started the tip drill there for the Vultures. Unfortunately, Queen City not able to get anything going on that drive, and that's going to be the first 3 and out for either of these teams.
The interception does not come back to haunt Jack Wigmore and company. Greg Morrison under serious pressure gets it away. Shorter kick that time, just clears midfield, and Bolt, who returns both kicks and punts for this team, is stopped up at his own 49-yard line. He's been sensational at both of those this year. We mentioned one of the best kick returners in league history. He's got 2 kick return touchdowns this season, 2nd in the league this season in total punt returns, and 4 career punt return touchdowns, the most all time. So Baltimore with the best scoring offense in the league, north of 41 points per game. No one even comes close to that. Sitting at just 7 halfway through the second quarter. Here goes Hazard trying to change that. First down for Hazard. Blown up by Jared Crow at a pickup of 16.
Yeah, Jimmy Hazard trying to bring a spark back into this Baltimore offense after the interception. Able to get a first down and then some on that run there, and puts Baltimore firmly into Queen City territory now.
They go to Hazard, he's successful, but he averages just 14.5 touches and south of 90 yards per game. He's only totaled 8 touchdowns all season. First down, Wigmore. Oh, and he had a couple of receivers there. Daley Holder was the target. Irvin was behind him, and an uncharacteristic poor pass from Jack Wigmore.
Yeah, I think Wigmore is starting to feel a bit more pressure from this front 3 of the Corsairs. And it's kind of showing. Another not really great throw intended, as you said, for Daley Holder.
Remember, Wigmore passes a ton. He averages 44 pass attempts per game, fourth most in the league, but he completes just 68% of those passes, which is actually fifth to last. Second down, that's a completion from Wigmore to T-Roy Gaines, a fullback streak and a gain of 11.
I mean, just a good route there by the veteran T-Roy Gaines, again converted to fullback in the offseason to make room for Jimmy Hazard. Finds his first catch in 2 games here.
He averages 7 touches for 20 yards on the balance of this season, a reliable option for Tim Johnston and company. From the 25, Wigmore tosses it out to Hazard, breaks away from Preby, and then is hit by a couple of Corsairs, including Preby, who was able to stay on his feet and stop Hazard after a gain of 6 or so.
Yeah, Baltimore, though, after that run by the Duke of Hazard, find themselves into the Queen City red zone. The Corsairs need a big defensive stop here to keep this lead at 7.
Queen City has scored the last 14 points, capitalizing on that fumble from Bolt to score their most recent one. Another offsides. Hazard gets the catch, blown up quickly by Jared Crow, former minor league wide receiver turned linebacker here in the big leagues. We'll see what the call is.
It's going to be offsides, I believe, on Andre Krim again.
Oh, they go to the other side. I thought you were right. I thought it was Krim's side of the field, but regardless, second offside call against Queen City here in the first half. That could be costly. It should be a first down for Baltimore.
It will be a first down for Baltimore, as it was inside of 5 yards to the first down marker. That one on DJ Majesty, as Baltimore now with an even better shot at the end zone here.
Moore already with a touchdown pass today from the 13, looking this way. It's caught by Irvin, turns upfield and steps out of bounds. Short of the goal line and short of the first down line as well.
Yeah, a bit too much lateral momentum on the route by Ivory Irvin. There's going to force him out of bounds just short of that first down marker, like you mentioned. But at this point, we're in T-Roy Gaines territory if they decide to go that way.
3 rushing touchdowns on the season for him. He is on the field now. They'll stack the line. Queen City responds with a packed house. Clock running with 3. Here goes Gaines, and he does not get the yards that he needed. You were right on it, Aaron. They went to him on 2nd and inches, but Jared Crow makes the stop.
Yeah, just a great hole fill tackle there by the outside linebacker, Jared Crow, as Queen City looks like they're stacking the box again here to try and stop the run.
Similar formation. They'll stack 2 tight ends to the bottom of the field now. 3rd and inches. Hazard gets the give. Queen City was right there for it. David Tilley makes another stop. 4th down coming up from the 7.
Yeah, a bit of a blown blocking scheme there by the Vultures offensive line, and Tilley just able to take advantage. It makes a big stop in the backfield, and despite both a 2nd and 3rd and inches, Baltimore's going to be forced to accept a field goal here.
You don't want to leave any defensive lineman unabated to a tailback like that, but especially not David Tilley. And for all of Queen City's struggles generating pressure and whatever this year, David Tilley has been about as good as ever. Another TFL for him. 2 minutes left. It'll be a field goal attempt for Tarkington when we come back. For the fans. 2 minutes left in an exciting first half. 10-0 Baltimore against 8-2 Queen City. Tim Hackett and Aaron Alexander here with you from Vulture Stadium. And Shark Tarkington, one of the best place kickers in league history, on to attempt yet another one. He's missed only one this season. League's leader in both field goal makes and field goal attempts. Pulled down from Adam Jefferson, and no problem for Shark from 24. Baltimore back to within 4 points.
Yeah, and admittedly, just taking a look at the history of the Vultures this season, the scoreline isn't that much of a surprise, as they have had some close calls prior to this game against both the Portland Fleet and the DC Dragons. So perhaps a bit of a reality check here for the Vultures this game.
Baltimore came out and absolutely destroyed the world in week 1 against the LA Lycans, a team that made the playoffs last year and will do so again this year. But then the second week they played Portland. Portland took them to overtime. And obviously, as we know, Aaron, you can kind of throw week 1 out the window in a lot of ways. LA had a new coach, a coach that's no longer with the team. And so a lot of changes for that team. And then they play Portland in week 2, does Baltimore, and Portland takes them to overtime. And that game, to me, was what really solidified the fact that Portland was going to be a team to be reckoned with. And they are right in the mix of the playoff picture, and they will play next against Atlanta right here on For the Fans. Don't miss that game. A big game for both of those teams. A huge game for these two as well, as Zero gets a gain of 7.
Poor Giovanni Bolt, man. That's like the second or third shoulder truck he's taken from Jet Zero in this game, and that combined with the special teams blunder earlier on, Giovanni Bolt's having a rough time right now.
No safety is safe when it comes to Jet Zero this season. 2nd in carries, 3rd in yards, 7th in average at about 5, and 1st in touchdowns. Here he goes again, another solid gain. Give him 6 that time. 13 about yards on back-to-back total plays, stopped at the end of it by Keenan Samuels, the second-year outside linebacker.
Yeah, and Queen City is sticking with the game plan that works. That game plan's name, of course, being Jet Zero, as they look to try and extend this lead here with just under a minute to go in the second.
Here's the 16th carry of the game for Queen City. A.J. Caswell has attempted 16 passes, 0 yards that time for Jet Zero. Baltimore makes the stop. Queen City will hurry it up. They have all 3 timeouts. Here goes Zero again. Picks up 5 that time. Rallying tackle by Frank Smith, and there is the first timeout for Queen City.
Yeah, and I think it's smart for them to call the timeout. They're going to look for a bit of a personnel change on this 3rd and 5, probably to a more pass-heavy formation, try and get some yardage downfield.
Caswell is just 10 of 16, which is unlike him. He has one of the best completion percentages in the league, the best, in fact, 78.6%. Only missed 2 passes a week ago. Here goes Komisak. On 3rd down, they give it to the fullback, Aaron, and he does not get it. Alvin Mack makes the stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, fullback's not excelling as far as average yardage goes, unless you're somebody like Ray Bentley for the Mexico City Aztecs. And Queen City going to punt this ball away here. It's going to leave Baltimore with about 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock if they decide to run the play clock out here.
Queen City does have to snap it before the half, but remember, Giovanni Bolts is waiting back to return the punt. He of the 4 career punt return touchdowns, most in league history. Away from Morrison with 4 seconds left, and to end the drama, Bolt will call for and make a fair catch as the clock hits 0. 14 straight points from Queen City, and the Corsairs have the lead on the road, trying to upend Baltimore's potential unbeaten season. It's 14-10 at the break. The first half for Queen City, Aaron, I mean, we've talked about it before. We didn't know what to expect. Offensive fireworks, defensive showcase, but so far, this Queen City defense has held the league's #1 offense to just 10 points.
Yeah, and a bit surprising again, Queen City only 65 passing yards against a team coming into this one of the worst defensively as far as passing yards per game. So Queen City, though, stick with the game plan that works. Again, of course, that's Jet Zero. That man there, though, Chris Komisak, making some work on the ground himself with that big 50-yard run early in the second quarter, which led to this pass to Christopher Ochoa. And Still anybody's game here, though, going into the second half.
The two biggest plays of the game for me are that 50-plus yard run from Chris Komisak that we just saw, and the forced fumble on the kick return by Giovanni Bolt, something that no one would have predicted. Again, he has got 9 career kick return touchdowns. He gives the ball away, and then shortly after, Queen City scores its second touchdown of the game, just 4 or 5 plays after that. And it is still anybody's game, Aaron, but with so much on the line for Queen City here on the road, they've got the lead at the halftime break. They've got to be thrilled.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just looking as far as potential playoff scenarios go, Queen City, in the event that they do end up losing this game, will hold on to the number 4 seed in the event that Atlanta does end up beating Portland later today, as back in, I believe it was week 5 or week 6, the Corsairs did beat the Swarm. That was week 4, actually.
Doug Spelling with the return out to the 23, and there's so much at stake for both of these teams, Aaron, like you said. What's crazy, and this has been kind of the league narrative for the last couple of years, Baltimore, you can see them up at the top, 10 points, 10 wins on the season, 0 losses, the league's only remaining unbeaten team. They've not clinched a division, even though they have clinched a playoff spot. It's kind of crazy because the team that's standing in their way is the team on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the Queen City Corsairs. If Queen City wins today, they could still win the division next week. Here goes Zero with his team up by 4 at the break, gain of 9. And if Baltimore wins today, obviously they'll move to 11-0, and the division will be theirs. Nothing Queen City can do with only 1 game left in the regular season after today. Here is a look at the updated playoff standings after the results from yesterday. Baltimore stands alone at the top. Not only have they clinched a playoff spot, they have clinched a first-round bye, so they will not have to play in Wild Card Weekend 2 weeks from now, but Queen City might still. Here is Zero, nothing doing. Keenan Samuels, the sophomore, makes the stop.
Yeah, and Baltimore, of course, not just looking for the division clinch, but also to keep their hopes of a perfect regular season alive, which, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, we haven't seen since week 11, when the Florida Storm, at that point playing in Alaska, did it back in season 11 and actually had a perfect season going through to actually win the championship that year.
Here goes Komisak, nothing doing for him. So Queen City gets 9 yards on their first play of the possession, and then they lose about 1.5 yards on the next 2. Loshaw with the stop on Komisak. Morrison will have to punt.
Yeah, very key stop for the Vultures here on the first play of the second half. Definitely a much-needed momentum shifter for them here as they look to try and take the lead in this game for the first time since their opening score.
Baltimore with a marathon possession as Bolt makes another fair catch. 98 yards on a drive that started from their own 2, obviously, ending in a touchdown from Jack Wigmore to Ivory Irvin. That put Baltimore ahead 7-0. Queen City then scored the next 14 points. Touchdown catches from Deezer Powell and Christopher Ochoa, and then Shark Tarkington with a field goal inside of 2 minutes in the first half, and that's where we stand. Queen City 14, Baltimore 10. The Corsairs trying to keep their division title hopes alive, their hopes for a first-round bye alive, and, of course, knock off Baltimore for the first time. Wigmore, sidearm sling, looking for Lloyd Graham Jr., and it's swatted at the line by DJ Majesty.
Yeah, DJ Majesty, the defensive lineman, gets a pass deflection. Not something you see very often in this league at all. But Majesty gets his first of the season there.
After he was involved quite a bit in the first quarter, Mac Chima has been quiet since. 2 catches for him today, but he was absolutely fantastic for Baltimore as they took down Carolina to move to 10-0 last week. Wigmore will throw it to Hazard. This doesn't happen often. Jimmy Hazard spins and picks up 3. I mean, look at these stat lines for the Baltimore wide receivers. We already mentioned that Jack Wigmore threw for 444 yards, so you knew some wide receiver was going to have a big game. Ivory Irvin, 7 catches for 107 yards. That sounds really good, right? Here's what Mac Chima did last week. 7 catches, 229 yards, 3 touchdowns. One of the best games by a wide receiver in the SFL this season. He's been quiet recently. 3rd and 7. Wigmore over the middle, dropped by Lovelace and picked off by King Jamal. He's got 2 today. And Queen City again with a takeaway to stop Wigmore in his tracks.
Yeah, King Jamal picks up interception number 2, and Queen City, who came into this game only 6 as far as total takeaways go, picks up another one against a team that also doesn't really throw very many in the Baltimore Vultures. But the pendulum firmly back toward the side of the Queen City Corsairs after that interception.
Aaron, I've had no I don't know how to coach or scout or anything in this league, but to me, success in this league boils down to just one metric, and it's really easy to figure out. Harder to execute, though. Here goes 0. This is a way to have some success in this league. Gain of 7. To me, Aaron, success in the Simulation Football League boils down to one thing: turnover differential. You saw in those standings, these are 2 of the 4 best teams in the Simulation Football League, and to me, it's no coincidence. These are the 2 best teams in the league in turnover differential. Queen City is first, Baltimore is second. I think that directly correlates to in-season success. Here goes Kamasak, another big run for the fullback, first down Corsairs.
Yeah, you absolutely have the right of it, and I think with this scoreline, we're definitely seeing live in living color just how much of a difference that turnover differential plays in the final scoreline. We're, of course, going to see here if Queen City is able to turn this, their 3rd turnover of the game, or 3rd takeaway of the game, excuse me, into points yet again.
And, of course, who's winning the turnover battle? Queen City up 3-0 in that regard. Here's 0. Not a lot doing for him there. Good tackle by Al Walker, the 3rd-year defensive end from Sacramento. He's had a fantastic season. 2nd in the league in sacks, 3rd in tackles for loss, entering action this week. But that's pales in comparison to what Suron Yates is doing. 1st in the league in sacks and tackles for loss, and they typically line up next to each other. So Al Walker is being literally overshadowed by a huge guy who stands next to him. Here goes 0. Better run for him there, a gain of about 6.
Yeah, you've absolutely got the right of it. Al Walker, big in his own right at 6'3", 286. But the man next to him, Suron Yates, big 6'5", 290. In some ways, Al Walker kind of pales in comparison to the big man there.
It's kind of crazy. These guys are like what Hunter Norwood and Taquan Hale have been for the last couple of years for Jacksonville. Top of the league in sacks and TFLs. And Baltimore gets another stop at the line from Frank Smith. Linebacker saying, don't forget about me. He's had a fantastic season again. 3rd-year man from Atlanta brings up 4th down.
Yeah, the key, though, is that Baltimore is able to prevent the Queen City Corsairs from capitalizing on a takeaway yet again.
The city has only capitalized once, to your point, Aaron, and that is why this game is still as close as it is. High punt from Morrison, fielded in the end zone, though, by Queen City. Marco Sully couldn't keep it out. For the first time today, we've got a game break. Here's Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green in the studio.
Yeah, Cam, it's been all Whistle Jones and Brad Burchett, as you see him right here with a 48-yard field goal to tie it up at 6 at the half.
Bots back to Tim and Aaron.
Yeah, Mike, thanks so much. Wigmore back on offense, zips it, and it's caught. We were talking about it on the last drive, Aaron. There he is, Mac Chima with his first catch since the first quarter, and a big one.
Can we talk about the needle that Jack Wigmore just threaded on that throw? Like, this is a great route from Mac Chima, no doubt, but the absolute dart that Jack Wigmore throws into his hands, absolutely impressive by the veteran quarterback.
We've talked about how good these wide receivers, Irvin and Chima, are. I think Lloyd Graham Jr. is really good as well. But this Baltimore team would not be 10-0 without the excellent play of Jack Wigmore this season. There's no question about it. Hazard gets hogtied. No gain for him there. If you want to catch that Carolina and Charleston game, battle for the Carolinas, always an intense game here in the SFL. You can find that on the SFL's Twitch page, twitch.tv/SimulationFL, with our friend Colin Northrup and Mike O'Neill, who is making his SFL broadcasting debut. So welcome to the team, Mike. Happy to have you here from Baltimore. Tim Hackett, Aaron Alexander with Justin Reeside and Shane Kaufman. Happy to have you with us on For the Fans. Wigmore is taken down once again. Another sack for Queen City. What is this defense, Aaron? They're on another level. Andre Krim's got one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This Queen City team, for some reason, their defensive line has stepped up, led by the Krim Reaper himself, Andre Krim, who gets just his 3rd sack of the season on that one. But a big one it is going to bring up a long 3rd down situation for Baltimore.
And Queen City only had 10 sacks as a team through 10 weeks. They've got 3 here so far today. Wigmore zips it right sideline. That's where Chimo lives, and it's swatted away. One-on-one coverage with the rookie Cody Griffin, who's got 8 picks, including a clutch one that we saw against DC a couple of weeks ago, Aaron, and big stop for him there on 3rd down.
Yeah, Cody Griffin in his rookie campaign, despite being maybe a bit of a underrated pick at pick 1 in the 2nd round, has put together just an absolutely veteran caliber season here for Queen City, and is definitely a front runner for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
It's very rare to see rookies stand up and start as a cornerback in this league, but Cody Griffin does. Corners are not the strength of this Queen City defense. They weren't in the offseason, at least, and Griffin's been great. Less than 5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Queen City on top on the road. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Welcome back to Vulture Stadium in Baltimore. Alongside Aaron Alexander, I'm Tim Hackett. Happy to have you with us here on For the Fans. A long-anticipated powerhouse showdown between 2 of the top 4 teams in the SFL. Caswell hit as he throws, taken down again by Suron Yates IV. We talked ad nauseum so far in this game, Aaron, about the difference, the disparity between these 2 defensive lines coming into action today, but so far, advantage Queen City.
Yeah, and honestly, again, taking a look at some of the history of this season, the Vultures' strength of schedule only 21st in the league, so this game definitely a bit of a reality check for the Vultures as far as the caliber of teams that they'll be playing come playoff time.
This is the best team Baltimore has played in a long time, no question about it. Here goes Zero trying to stutter step, picks up just a couple. Austin Brigham, the 3rd-year corner, who we haven't talked about very much, makes the stop. Baltimore has not played a team that currently has a winning record since week 2. And we talked about this story already. They played Los Angeles, a team that's in the playoffs in week 1. They played Portland, a team that is probable to get into the playoffs in week 2. Since then, no team currently that Baltimore has played has a winning record. Queen City changing that. Caswell to throw. That's picked off right into the hands of Marvin Johnston, one of the backups. He accelerates down the sideline and is taken down inside the 10. First takeaway from Baltimore from one of the least likely candidates.
Yeah, but a takeaway nonetheless, and a much needed one at that for the Vultures. Is going to set up this Baltimore offense deep inside of the Queen City red zone, and it's going to give Baltimore a chance to take the lead in this game for the first time since late in the 1st quarter.
Just the 9th interception thrown by A.J. Caswell this season, and in a league where quarterbacks throw a ton, they typically average 2 per game. Caswell obviously averaging less than 1 pick thrown per game through 10 weeks. That could be a costly mistake. First and goal from the 6. Hazard is the lone setback. Wigmore to throw. Looking this way, end zone, it's caught. Touchdown, Baltimore, Mac Chima.
Yeah, Mac Chima keeping pace with his teammate Ivory Irvin. Both of them now with 12 total on the season. And Baltimore, after a very back and forth struggle defensively between these two teams, gets a key takeaway late in the third quarter and finally takes the lead back from the Corsairs.
One play after the dime defensive back, Marvin Johnston, picks off A.J. Caswell, first giveaway of the day. On the very next play, Baltimore back in the end zone. Mac Chima has arrived after a quiet second quarter. He's got his 12th touchdown reception of the year, and Baltimore goes back in front. At the conclusion of today's doubleheader on For the Fans, the highly anticipated Week 12 schedule will be finalized as teams make their last push for the postseason. Week 12 SFL action on Next Level Sports will be broadcast Saturday, October 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and on For the Fans on Sunday, October 10th from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. When will your team play next weekend? Stay tuned. You'll find out at the end of the broadcast today. Queen City back behind, another fumble on a kickoff, and Baltimore's got it. Baltimore gets it right back. Dueling fumbles on kickoff returns. You can go weeks without seeing that in the SFL, Aaron, and Felix, Maryland has one for the Vultures.
What are they feeding these special teams in Queen City and Baltimore that now both of them have takeaways on special teams, both of them on kick returns, both of them fumble recoveries? What is happening?
So Giovanni Bolts, the longtime kick returner for Baltimore, fumbles in the second quarter, leading immediately to a touchdown for Queen City. And now Doug Spelling, the rookie kick returner for the Corsairs, fumbles. What can Baltimore do? First down from the 20. Bigmore steps up, throws. That was risky. Could have given it right back. Ted Haynes with the swat. Second down.
Yeah, that was great coverage there by Ted Haynes, and this is what Queen City needs right now, is a big stand on defense, as that fumble recovery puts Baltimore in the red zone.
Jimmy Hazard has been great in this game. Remember, averaging 6 yards per carry. Today, averaging 7, unofficially 70 yards on 10 carries. Do they go to him here from the 20? They will spread it out. All 3 wides and a tight end. Hazard alone in the backfield for Jack Wigmore. 4 minutes to go in the third. Wigmore will throw. Fires it to the side. That's caught by Lloyd Graham Jr. through traffic and a gain of 17.
Yeah, unfortunate for Queen City, but a great catch by the tight end Lloyd Graham Jr. there. Puts Baltimore in T-Roy Gaines territory, just 3 yards out from the end zone.
Both Baltimore touchdowns have been passing touchdowns from Wigmore to each of his 2 favorite targets, Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima, both of whom have totaled more than 1,300 receiving yards this season. They've both found the end zone. They will go on the ground. It is T-Roy Gaines. Not this time, says Queen City. A whole host of Corsairs are there, led by Ted Haynes. There's a look at Nathaniel Campagna, who makes another big play today. Second down.
Yeah, unfortunate there for T-Roy Gaines. Just not really a lot of holes with Queen City stacking the box like they did, going full run prevent here, as it looks like it's going to be second verse, same as the first here.
2 backs and 2 tight ends now for Baltimore. Up by 3. Here goes Hazard. Spin move, and he's stopped in the backfield. Jared Crow makes the play, along with Dominic McElwain, another backup defensive tackle. Third down and goal.
And at this point, with third and goal, I think they're going to try and put this ball into the hands of Jack Wigmore, try to get it into the hands of either Ivory Irvin, Mac Chima, or Lloyd Graham Jr.
Baltimore will stack it to the bottom of the formation. Fake the handoff. Wigmore will throw. No, he won't. He's taken down again. 4th sack by Queen City today. Andre Krim, the Krim Reaper, spells death on this drive for Baltimore.
Yeah, and a very timely death indeed for that drive. Baltimore absolutely at the throat of the end zone. But the Grim Reaper takes his sight to Jack Wigmore and says, "No, sir, not this time."
Shark Tarkington will have to come on and deliver another field goal. He's already made one today. What a stop by this Queen City defense. Tarkington got it from 26. No surprise. The lead is just 6, Aaron, but after those 3 stops, Baltimore, the best scoring offense in the league, had first and goal from the 3. Queen City stops them 3 times and holds them to just 3 points.
Yeah, this defense for Queen City, despite coming into this game with just a quarter of the total sacks that Baltimore has stepped up in a big way, especially the Grim Reaper, Andre Krim, who came over this offseason from the Lycans.
They're outsacking Baltimore rather 4-0 so far in this game. Spelling holds on to the ball and gets to the 21. Back to the studio we go. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.
Thank you, Tim. Jack Brown makes history, Mike. First pick 6 of his illustrious career.
Cam following Monte Wyatt's second interception, followed by Corey Minner's first interception of the day, followed by Kane Vasquez's interception. Jack Brown, he says, "I'll take it in my own hands. Let's get some points on the board." With his first ever pick 6, Charleston leads 13-6.
Unbelievable. Back to Tim and Aaron in Baltimore.
Yeah, Mike, thanks so much. Jack Brown making history there. Baltimore trying to make some history here, picking up the league's first unbeaten season since season 11. They've now got a 6-point lead. That was a gain of 5 from A.J. Caswell to Deezer Powell. First catch in quite a while for Queen City wideouts. Corsairs now down by 6. Here goes Zero, lowers the shoulder. First down for Zero and Giovanni Bolt. They called this Baltimore defense the Wake, Aaron, and poor Giovanni Bolt was left in Jet Zero's wake once again.
Yeah, poor Giovanni Bolt has just taken an absolute beating at the hands of Jet Zero here today. I feel so bad for the man, but this Baltimore defense has been relatively stout since halftime.
These are 2 of the best defenses in the SFL. We mentioned Queen City 3rd in points allowed per game. Baltimore's 4th. Penalty flags fly as Caswell floats it up, and it's caught somehow by Chris Komisak with Troy Loshaw right on top of him. Let's see what the penalty is, but if it's against Baltimore, I think we know what's going to happen.
That was against Baltimore. It's going to be an offsides call on number 95. That's Tucker Lewis, the defensive end.
And again, for you, Aaron, I think you're perfect today on those, and it is offside against Tucker Lewis. Queen City has jumped twice. Not a surprise, I guess, how antsy they have been to get to Jack Wigmore defensively, the Corsairs, that they might have jumped a couple of times. Baltimore, the strength of this team has been their takeaway ability and their sack ability. They excel on both ends of the defensive front. Trying to generate something here, they end up jumping off sides. So they'll count the play. A gain of about 11 for Komisak. Caswell, there it is. First sack of the game for Baltimore. Right on cue. It's been a long time coming, and Nate Brown, the least likely candidate of the 4, Aaron, is finally the one to break through.
Yeah, Nate Brown coming into A.J. Caswell like Goldberg with the spear there. And Baltimore, as you said, finally getting their first sack of the game, and it's a big one for the Vultures.
Last week, they sacked Carolina's Matt South 8 times. Everybody had at least 1. And finally, against Queen City, a team that allows a lot of sacks, 5th most, they finally have their first. 0. That'll help right the ship. Gain of about 7, and it'll be 3rd and 8. That's going to do it for the 3rd quarter from Baltimore. The home team rallies. They're up 20-14. 1 more quarter to play. This is the Simulation Football League presented by 8 PM Music. One for the fans. Good afternoon, Baltimore. Welcome back to Vulture Stadium alongside Aaron Alexander with Shane Kaufman, Justin Reeside, Cameron Irvine, and Mike St. Green. I'm Tim Hackett. Pleased to have you with us. This game has been anticipated for weeks. Baltimore at 10-0, Queen City at 8-2. These two teams were both 6-0 at one point, setting up this showdown with the North Division still at stake. From midfield on 3rd and 8, Caswell steps and throws into traffic, swatted away. Powell was there, Spelling was there, but so was Troy Loshaw, one of the best safeties in the league. He's got another pass deflection and it's 4th down.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Queen City. Just not really any receivers open downfield, as Troy Loshaw is going to force the Queen City Corsairs to punt this ball away yet again.
Orson, who has already tried to flip the field a couple of times. No punt pressure on this time from Baltimore. And Bolt ready to line up a return. He's got nothing doing there. In this matchup, Aaron, a magic number is 31. Queen City as a defense, we mentioned they're 3rd in the league in points allowed per game. They allow fewer than 20 points per game on average. They have allowed 31 points twice. That's their season high at Arizona and at DC. But both of those were wins for Queen City. Guess what Baltimore's season low points scored is for a team that averages north of 40? 31. That is their fewest points scored in a game this season. Crazy how that lines up. And Baltimore sitting on 20 as we play quarter number 4. Wigmore to throw this way. Ivory Irvin makes the catch and turns upfield and picks up 12 and a 1st down.
Yeah, another tidbit for you, and probably the biggest reason that Baltimore's now ahead in this game. That last punt by Queen City makes 6 straight drives where Queen City has either had to punt the ball away or they lost possession on an interception.
Back-to-back scoring drives for Queen City in that first half. Touchdown passes from Caswell to Powell, and then Ochoa right after that fumble on the kickoff from Giovanni Bolt. That made it 14-7. Since then, 0 points for Queen City. Baltimore has taken the lead. Here goes Jimmy Hazard, breaks through the first hit. Jared Crow on the stop, gain of 5. So on the other side, now 13 unanswered points for Baltimore to take the lead after Queen City at one point had scored 14 straight to move ahead.
Yeah, and Queen City desperately needs some kind of change of pace in order to try and come back in this game.
You knew that Baltimore would not be able to be held down for long. This offense is way too good. If Baltimore scores again, watch out. Here goes Hazard, breaks away from Krim. And Jimmy Hazard to the outside and across midfield. Another big gain for the Duke, who's starting to really heat up. King Jamal brings him down.
Yeah, unfortunate again for Queen City that Jimmy Hazard, the Duke, is just able to find some creative openings and get this ball further downfield for the Vultures, who are looking to push this lead out even further.
Tim Johnston and Thomas Patternini have turned Baltimore into an absolute juggernaut. They have never not had a winning season. They're trying to go undefeated for the first time in franchise history, trying to secure the #1 seed in the postseason, and they are very close to doing that. Here goes T. Roy Gaines. Nice gain for him. Give him 6. Baltimore joined the SFL in season 11. We're ticking down to the end of season 17 here this afternoon. In every season, Baltimore has finished in the top 10 in points. They've been in the top 10 in yards on offense in 5 of those 6 seasons. They've been in the top 3 in points per game before. They've done that twice, but they've never been #1. And that's where they sit right now, entering action here in week 11. Only 20 points on the board for them here, though. Wigmore. And that's a big reason why. No resistance from the Baltimore front, and David Tilley says thank you very much.
Yeah, David Tilley getting another sack for the Corsairs. I believe that's sack number 5 for the Queen City front 3 this game. And for a team coming into this that only had 10, this front line of Queen City has been doing absolutely great so far.
Insane. Wigmore's pass hits his man in the back. That's DeAndre Fields, one of the backup wide receivers. It hits him in the flank, Aaron, and that dooms this Baltimore drive.
Yeah, which is a boon here for the Corsairs, who desperately needed a stop like that in order to try and get back into this game. Unfortunately, this punt may leave a lot to be desired as far as field position goes for them, but we'll see if they can make something happen.
Absolutely essential stop, or at least that's what it looks like for the Queen City defense. Baltimore's first possession of the fourth quarter ends in a punt from Pablo Gates. Fair catch called for and made by Doug Spelling. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Queen City is going to try to play a comeback track here. Their first possession of the fourth quarter here goes 0 and a gain of 4 for the stud tailback. Troy Loshaw makes the stop.
And I want to call back to something you mentioned earlier about how good Baltimore has been since they entered the league back in season 11. The lowest that they've finished as far as overall record, 5th, which was last season.
These two guys have absolutely set a new standard for success in this league, and they're first right now. Caswell into traffic, and it's picked off by Giovanni Bolts. He atones for a tough game, his league-leading 15th interception of the season, and Baltimore gets the ball right back.
Oh, man, that's just unlucky. AJ Caswell, not really the best of throws there. Couldn't really see who that was intended for. Giovanni Bolt, though, picks off his own tip, getting, as you said, a league-leading number 15 and setting Baltimore off with great field position to try and extend this lead.
I call this team the Baltimore Vultures, Aaron. He is that integral to their success, and he sets them up from the 30. Here goes Hazard, breaks through the first wave, sidestep for Hazard, breaks through another tackle, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, a 31-yard run for Jimmy Hazard. Baltimore goes up by 12. Unplay after the interception from Giovanni Bolts. Jimmy Hazard makes them pay. His best run of the day, just his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, and Baltimore has the biggest lead for either side.
Yeah, and for a Queen City team that has allowed the fewest rushing touchdowns, the one that puts them at rushing touchdown number 5 is the rookie Jimmy Hazard, the Duke himself.
Fantastic point. That has been Queen City's calling card all season, and it's been a weakness of the Baltimore offense. They don't punch it in on the ground very much. That's now just 10 combined rushing touchdowns for Hazard and the league veteran T-Roy Gaines, but they get one at a huge time. They break off a big run as well. All those times, remember that Baltimore had 1st and goal from inside the 5-yard line or whatever. They failed to score. They failed to score twice, and now from the 31, they score on their first play. Baltimore put up 40 on Carolina last week, but Shark Tarkington was 4 of 4 on field goal attempts in that game, Aaron, and all of them were from inside of 30 yards. So you can see even in that game, a game in which Baltimore dominated, they put up 40 points. That's about their season average. But if Tarkington doesn't have to hit a couple of chip shot field goals, they score even more points in that game.
Yeah, and it definitely speaks on the almost lack of production that Jimmy Hazard and T-Roy are really able to get. It also shows that Baltimore tends to struggle a bit in the red zone. But Queen City is going to look to try and shrink this lead here.
Here goes 0. Good strategy if they want to get back into a game. He picks up 7. Back to a storyline from earlier, Aaron. Remember, we've talked about turnover differential in this game. I've called that my key to success in the SFL. Queen City is number 1 in the league in turnover differential at plus 23 before today. Baltimore is number 2 at plus 21. Now in this game, Queen City got the first 3 takeaways. Baltimore has gotten the last 3, and so we're back at a net 0. 2nd and 3. Here goes Jet 0, and a first down for him out to the 40.
Man, I don't know if that rhyme there was intentional with net 0 into jet 0.
I wish it was.
I tell you what, that worked out in Queen City's favor. Jet 0 picks up yet another first down for this Queen City offense. That's just first down at number 12 for them compared to 18 for the Vultures.
That is insane. And no, that wasn't intended. Sometimes things just work out. Here goes Cyril again. Things are working out nicely for him here. He picks up 7. And, I mean, to continue the jokes, Aaron, I mean, this is something you and I have talked about before. I mean, frankly, Queen City was not a very good team the last couple of seasons. This is the all-time most successful franchise in SFL history. They're number 1 in wins with 111 after last week. This franchise has won 4 SFL championships. No one else can say that. But the last 2 years, they were league afterthoughts. They missed the playoffs. And Jet Zero getting back to form is a big reason why they're back in for sure. Comisac on the give, stopped short by Alvin Mack.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have to give credit to the man on that reception, Chris Comisac, the new coach out there in Queen City, bringing about a bit of a culture change with the help of BJ Loveless, who came over from Arizona, has really, really made the difference for this Corsairs franchise, especially this season.
3rd inch is a critical play for Queen City. They go to Jet Zero, no surprise. First down, Alvin Mack again on the stop. And on 3rd and less than 1, Zero gives them 3. They go to their guy who's been getting it done for them all year, Aaron, and he delivers once again.
Yeah, Queen City, though, I think definitely needs to start trying to get some more yardage through the air. They're down by 13. Yes, they have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning left, but they need to step it up if they want to try and get back into this game against the Vultures.
Caswell has thrown 2 touchdowns, but unofficially he's south of 100 passing yards. Looking to change that, he does. Over the middle, gain of 12 for Deezer Powell.
And, you know, as I say, they need to pass more. AJ Caswell throws an absolute bullet into the hands of Deezer Powell there, who gets another great grab and another first down for Queen City, who's finally piecing together a drive after 6 straight drives of nothingness.
Powell joining this team ahead of season 15, trying to prove to the league that he can be a true number 1 wideout. It's been a solid season for him. Top 25 in receiving yards, top 10 in touchdowns. Here goes Zero, pickup of 3. And going back to our previous point, Aaron, I mean, you mentioned the new coach, the new general manager, but Eric Barkley, who is the owner of this team and has had a big hand directly in the success of this Queen City franchise. I mean, credit to him for stepping back a little bit and allowing some new people to come in to breathe some new life into this franchise, if you will. You know, Barkley's still at the helm and is still overseeing things, but he brought in 2 new guys to this team to help reshape it, and they've had immediate success. Out of the backfield, that is Hubba Kimbrell, the backup tight end, his first catch of the day and a pickup of 3.
Yeah, Hubba Kimbrell, who was the fullback for this Corsairs team last season, shifts over the tight end to allow room for Chris Comisac, and he's been a understated but also key piece to this Queen City defenses.
Caswell gets plastered as he tries to throw. Is that Alvin Mack on the play? It is.
It is Alvin Mack, yep.
Baltimore brings the rush from the linebacker core, and like you said, Hubba Kimbrell's been a big piece of this team but was not able to help stop the Mack.
Yeah, unfortunately, on that play, they sent Hubba Kimbrell into the flat again. Unfortunately, AJ Caswell, not really enough time to try and throw the ball his way as the pressure from the Baltimore defense gets to him there.
4th down, Queen City knows how important this is. Caswell will throw, zips it, and it's caught. First down. What a play from Caswell. The rookie Doug Spelling makes the catch.
What a grab by Doug Spelling, my goodness.
What a call by Queen City. From the 16, Caswell, end zone, it's caught, touchdown. Ochoa's got 2, and Queen City's right back in this thing.
Oh, what a gutsy call from Chris Comisac on 4th and 4 to throw it into the hands of the rookie in traffic. And then a hurry up to the line for another great pass from AJ Caswell, this time in the hands of Christopher Ochoa, who picks up his 2nd touchdown after only coming in with 1 in this game.
Zip from Caswell, one-on-one coverage with Ochoa against Ben Stackenpaper, 2 guys who came into the SFL at the same time, entering in season 15 after very solid minor league seasons where they were part of the first ever SFL minor league. Ochoa has had a really, really slow start to his pro career. An opportunity for him this year to really be their true number 2 wideout. Once Chris Curtis departed to go to Vancouver, he was always going to be down on the depth chart because of the prevalence of James Matthew Jr., but he's been outshined this season by the rookie Doug Spelling, who paces him in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns, but not today. 2 catches for scores for Christopher Ochoa, and now Queen City will go onside. It's right into the hands of the Baltimore special teams, though, and the Vultures will try to right the ship with 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, that one picked up by Daley Holder, playing on the hands team here for the Vultures. It's going to set them up at Queen City's 41. And if you're the Corsairs, you're probably praying for a pick into the hands of your young rookie corner, Cody Griffin.
And it's such a risk because Shark Tarkington is one of the best kickers in the SFL. He does not need a whole lot more. Hazard breaks through a tackle. So much for that. He's got the first down on just one carry. 12 yards for Jimmy Hazard. Look at the day for him.
Yeah, and Maurice Lloyd coming up to save what would have been another Duke of Hazzard touchdown. But, yeah, you've got the right of it. That run by Jimmy Hazard there definitely puts the Vultures in Shark Tarkington's boot range, which could spell the end of this game for the Corsairs.
It would make it a 2-possession game if Baltimore was able to score again. The chat not agreeing with that call from Chris Komisak. You could join us at twitch.tv/FTFnext. Join the chat and join the SFL community. 3:15 left in regulation. Baltimore with the ball up by 6. Wigmore drops back under pressure. Down he goes again. Tilly had him first. Krim cleans him up. Another sack for Queen City. This is a whole new team on display.
Yeah, this, I don't know what they had in their Wheaties this morning, but this Queen City defensive line has just been eating up the offensive line of the Vultures all game. Unfortunately, it hasn't amounted to a swing toward the Corsair side offensively, but the Crim Reaper and the rest of this Queen City defensive line are eating really, really well today.
It's been Andre Krim's best game of his career, no doubt. They almost get pressure again. Risky throw, and it's dropped. 2 different Corsairs had a chance to get it, and right on cue, Aaron, just like you said, Cody Griffin was right there. Mac Chima couldn't haul it in. That could have been a pick 6 even, but it's just 3rd down.
Oh, imagine the difference that we would have seen in this game if Cody Griffin's able to hold on to that ball after tipping it twice. Unfortunately, him and I believe that was King Jamal in the area as well, just not able to get a hand on it.
Remember, after that sack, that would make this a 50-yard field goal. So Baltimore needs some yards now to make things better. They will throw. Wigmore over the middle. So much for that. A first down for the Vultures. Wigmore to Mac Chima, the SFL's leader in receiving yards, picks up 17, and the Vultures move the sticks again.
Yeah, unfortunate for Queen City that Baltimore is able to move the sticks again. But if... excuse me, I lost my tongue there for a second. If we know anything about this Queen City defense is that they can step up in the red zone big time when needed to for the Corsairs.
From 16 officially, Wigmore still south of 200 passing yards unofficially, if you can believe it. The SFL's leader with nearly 4,000 coming in. They will not have to snap it, and they won't. 2-minute warning from Baltimore with the Vultures up by 6 and threatening again. This is the SFL presented by APM Music and For the Fans. 2 minutes left in regulation, a game that everybody in this league has been looking forward to since about week 6. It's lived up to the billing. Baltimore up by 6 with the ball. Jimmy Hazard, who's been great in the second half, breaks away, spins away, and stopped up by Jared Crow, gain of 5, and a timeout coming from Queen City. Coming up on the post-game update, we'll send you to bonus coverage of Carolina and Charleston if time allows, and then back to the SFL studios where Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will analyze Sunday's early action and preview Game 2 of the SFL on FTF doubleheader, which includes 6-4 Portland clashing with 7-3 Atlanta. It's all coming up on the post-game update. 2 minutes separates us from that. Baltimore trying to extend its unbeaten season and win the division outright. Here goes Hazard, running room for Hazard. Spin move, first down inside the 5, stopped up by Maurice Lloyd, the new free safety. Queen City has to use its second timeout, but it'll be first and goal, Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore looking to firmly take this game in their hands. They would go up by 13 with a touchdown, that go up by 9 with a Shark Tarkington field goal, which would more than likely firmly put this out of Queen City's hands and give Baltimore finally the North Division in their hands.
Rookie Jimmy Hazard is having a career game, and what a time for it. Wigmore's thrown 2 touchdowns already, but they'll pack the box. Here's Hazard. Can't get through that time. Great stop in the backfield by Eliseo Preby, who is one of the backup linebackers. We've seen him make a couple of big plays this year, Aaron. Tackle for loss for him. Queen City must use its last timeout.
Yeah, he was definitely helped on the tackle by the cornerback Ted Haynes there as well. And Queen City looking to put up another stout defensive stop in the red zone. Baltimore just 6 yards out now from pay dirt.
Hazard has totaled unofficially over 150 rushing yards on the season. He averages south of 90 total yards, and Wigmore will take a knee with Queen City unable to stop the clock. We see questionable time management here in the SFL occasionally, Aaron, but Queen City can't stop the clock. The math works. If Shark Tarkington hits this field goal, like you said, it'll be game over for Baltimore.
Yeah, and in some ways that's a big if, but this is Shark Tarkington we're talking about. Especially from this distance, he's basically automatic, but crazier things have happened in the SFL.
Talked about neither of these teams turning the ball over very much, but the two defenses are takeaway happy, as we've already seen. 3 total for both teams today, so don't want to risk it. It's just a couple of knees for Jack Wigmore, and they will trot out Shark Tarkington, who's already 2 of 2 today, one of the best kickers in SFL history. He's now 28 of 29 in this season, first in the league in made kicks, first in the league in kick attempts, getting better than 96% of his kicks. This to seal it up, to keep Baltimore's undefeated season intact, to win them the North Division outright, and keep them atop the SFL standings against the usurpers, the Queen City Corsairs. Snap from Robert Clayton, hold from Adam Jefferson. The kick from Shark Tarkington is good, no problem at all. Baltimore leads by 9, and it's game, set, and match. The Vultures will stay unbeaten.
Yeah, Baltimore just barely squeaking past 30 against a very, very game Queen City Corsair team. I mean, definitely not a bad game for Queen City by any stretch of the imagination. The difference maker here, though, is points on turnovers. Baltimore able to string together 14 on 3. Queen City only getting 7 in the same amount. And at this point, with 22 seconds left to go, they're just playing for bragging rights.
That is a huge difference in this game, Aaron. You're absolutely right. Queen City had all of those opportunities in the first half to expand the lead. It was only 14-10 in Baltimore. That is what great teams do. They rally. They now lead by 9. It's going to be another fairly close game for Baltimore, but it is a 2-possession edge for them once again. Queen City with no timeouts and only 20 seconds to play. Aswell's pass is dropped by Doug Spelling. He got plastered by Frank Smith. Second down.
Yeah, and unfortunate there, Doug Spelling not able to keep his hands on that ball. Though I think if he catches that may just be the end of the game. So Queen City gets another chance to try and bomb this ball downfield.
Unless Baltimore does something crazy here, this will be the fewest points that they have scored in a game, but just the third time that Queen City has allowed an opponent to hit at least 30 points in a game. Caswell will bomb it. Right sideline looking for Ochoa, and it's knocked away by Ben Stackenpaper. Doug Spelling was hurt on the play. That could be interesting. Even though with only 14 seconds left, he'll be back and good to go for Queen City next week. But he will not be available as an option here on this third down.
Yeah, that could be key to the Vultures stopping Queen City from getting anywhere on this drive period. And of course, this more than likely being the last play, or the last drive of the game, rather.
Watch out for Jay Hayden, the former Vulture. Can he strike in this situation? Caswell floats it up, looking for Ochoa again, and it's taken away by Ben Stackenpaper. Another turnover for A.J. Caswell, who only threw 8 picks over his team's first 10 games. He's thrown 3 today. That one will lock it up. Baltimore will move to 11-0. Let's quickly go to a game update. Here's Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.
Thank you, Tim. A controversial ending in Charleston, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, Carolina trying to tie the game to send it into overtime. Corey Minner, they say he was in bounds, preserves the win for Charleston.
They say he was in. Check the replay. And upon initial look, we're not so sure. Back to Tim and Aaron for your conclusion.
Controversial end to a game and to a season for Carolina. Nothing new for them, unfortunately. But for Baltimore, another win. Nothing new for them. They're 11-0. The North Division belongs to the Vultures. They take down the Corsairs 30-21, thanks to a huge second-half performance from Jimmy Hazard, the rest of this team.
Yeah, this game, though, I think the lowest passing yards that Jack Wigmore has had all season. Queen City's defense doing a great job getting a bunch of pressure to him. 6 sacks on the day for the Crim Reaper and the rest of this Queen City defensive line. Unfortunately, the offense just not really able to make anything happen off of that. But a good game nonetheless for these two teams. A defensive showcase as both Jack Wigmore and AJ Caswell held under 200 yards.
It's kind of crazy because it's 51 combined points, so you're looking at that saying, all right, not really a defensive showcase, but I completely agree with you, Aaron. Both defenses played great. 3 picks from Baltimore's defense, 2 for Queen City, a ton of sacks for the Corsairs. Their most this season, one of the most by any teams this year, except I guess for what Baltimore did last week, but a heck of a showing for a team that has not been very good at that. But a couple of big runs from Jimmy Hazard, the rookie, trying to get to the playoffs for the first time in his big league career. That was the biggest difference in the game. Wigmore did not have it. Just over 200 yards. He averages nearly 400 yards per game. It was not a vintage performance for the possible league MVP, but the rest of his team, especially his rookie tailback, you see it right here, one of the runs of the game, that helps Baltimore come back in the second half.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to mention too, we talked all up and down about Suron Yates being a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. But of course, you gotta also think about Giovanni Bolt, whose interception today ties him for the league season record with his teammate Troy Loshaw.
15 interceptions for him, now Giovanni Bolt. And what a way for him to rebound. We've been talking about him all game, Aaron, and I'd like to say, you know, as when he at Baltimore goes, as he goes. And now with 15 interceptions, he stands alone at the top of the league leaderboards this season. He comes through at a clutch opportunity, picking off AJ Caswell again, who threw just 8 interceptions all season before today.
Yeah, unfortunate for Queen City. Player of the game coming up here, probably going to be Jimmy Hazard. It makes complete sense to me. 38 yards and a touchdown on the ground, and of course, that 1 reception for 9 yards.
On just 17 carries and a critical touchdown to move Baltimore to 11-0 on the season. Thanks so much for joining us from Vulture Stadium this afternoon. For Shane Kaufman, Justin Reeside, Cameron Irvine, and Mike St. Green, and my partner Aaron Alexander, I've been Tim Hackett. It's been our pleasure. Baltimore stays undefeated. The division is theirs. The Vultures win it 30-21. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Creed coming up after this break on For the Fans.
Welcome to Sim Football Post Game, along with Mike St. Green. I'm a frozen Cameron. I just cannot. The camera today, Mike, is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Cam,
and it's busted. All right.
That was not a good picture to be frozen on as well. That was not your best look.
Well, what is my best look? I think that's the bigger question, Mike. Let's get to the recaps here. Let's start with the controversial end in Charleston, where the Predators beat the Skyhawks 13-6 in an ugly affair.
Yeah, Cam, I am still shaking my head as to why there wasn't a booth review called for that play. From our vantage point, Corey Manor, he was clearly out of bounds on that interception, and it wasn't guaranteed that Carolina were going to come through on the fourth down play. But man, R62 and that referee crew really, I won't say blew that call and cost Carolina a chance at sending that game into overtime.
But to the credit of Charleston, they held Carolina out of the end zone all day. Jack Brown got his first career pick 6, so congratulations to Jack, a future Hall of Famer. But yeah, I mean, Charleston's defense, they're going to have to ride it through the playoffs if they make the playoffs, but they're now 6-5 and looking in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Cam, they are definitely happy to be in that 6-5 club. And yeah, last play aside, that defense played great all day long. For Carolina, it probably shouldn't have come down to that particular play. Matt South, he's had a really breakout season this season. He's been typically over 300 yards plus the last few weeks, but he really struggled today, only 256 yards passing, but more importantly, 6 interceptions, and that hurt the Carolina offense from getting anything going today. And also Logan Jack, the star running back out of Carolina, I know he had less than 10 yards rushing at the half. I'm not sure if he had much more than that in the second half. So that offense struggled all day long, but kudos to the Charleston Predators and getting to that 6th win. They are extremely close to punching their playoff ticket.
Where was the Carolina offense that scored 51 against Houston? Where is the offense that scored 28 against Baltimore? Charleston, credit to them, they shut it down. And now just one spot for a potential 5-7 team to make it. Unless that door is shut, later today. Well, it can't be shut later today. So that mystery is going to go into Week 12 with the rest of the teams hopeful to get that last playoff spot. So let's go back to the action at hand. Coming up next, we've got the Atlanta Swarm. They are trying to lock up the division like Baltimore just did. The Pacific could not be locked up last night, but Atlanta can be the next one to get it done with a win over Portland.
Yeah, Atlanta they clinched their playoff spot last night, but they're definitely looking to lock up the East Division tonight. And Portland, they're looking to join that 7-win club and guarantee their playoff spot. And this is a heck of an achievement for the Portland Fleet. Third season in existence. They struggled their first 2 seasons. They did make improvements toward the end of last season, but here they are right here on the cusp of securing a playoff berth. And then we have DC and London following that. DC, they're out of the playoff hunt right now, but London, they're looking to keep pace with all the other 5-win teams and stay in the conversation for next weekend.
Fort Worth and Denver with that ever so slim chance plays later tonight, and then Tulsa and San Diego will continue to wrap up their seasons later this evening. But London, one less spot to try to go take, but they'll try and do it just like the rest of that 5 and 6, 4 and 7 bunch going into Week 12. When we come back, kickoff from Atlanta at the Hive. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk on the call. Portland and Atlanta should be another great one. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on For the Fans.